Today's question is, what are my greatest fears and how do they impact my spiritual life? My greatest fears. Well, that could be a very, very long list. I think that there are sort of hierarchies of, there are hierarchies of wants and then things that, but I think that there are hierarchies of fears. And the farther that you go up that pyramid, the more core fundamental the fear is. I guess my greatest fear is probably a lack of purpose. That I have no purpose. That I have nothing to be striving for. That all of this is for absolutely nothing. There's a way of phrasing that in a spiritual context that can be more uplifting. So I feel like it relates to my spiritual practice quite a good deal. One of the most harrowing things about pursuing spirituality is that you find that a lot of things that you put a lot of value on don't mean anything. I'll give you a very basic example that I viewed my Facebook as my absolute life throughout most of high school and college. And then in one fell swoop, I just decided I wanted to delete it and it was gone. And that was hard for me because Facebook was an empire I had built up. I loved my social connection to the world and being able to post statuses that people thought were great and pictures that people liked and all this stuff, and then I just destroyed that world. I broke it all down. Now that's a very shallow one, obviously, but I think that we put value into things that seem like they're so, like anything that we're putting a lot of value into, almost by definition, feels like it's extremely important. It might feel like it's the most important thing in the entire world. Relationships. Even family relationships, even the people that we love the most. We can find value in them, and you sometimes have realizations that it is still just a prescribed value by you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's one thing that you sort of have to come to peace with, chill out a little bit about when you're having existential panic attacks. There's nothing wrong with your own personal prescribed value. In fact, it's kind of necessary to operate in this world. But you do get an understanding that the universe doesn't place the same value on those things that you do. And it's not that it views everything as meaningless. That's a way you can say it that isn't necessarily wrong. It's just a very nihilistic way of saying it. It's just that everything is on an equal plane of value. And it doesn't accept or reject anything outside of just allowing it to exist. And that's really, really hard. And the first thing that people will say is, well, what about murderers? Like, do those have value? From a universal perspective, before any applied human value, which again is necessary and you can do all you want to. I mean, I have my own beliefs about ways things should and should not be. But the universe wills those things to exist. And by virtue of them being there, they are just as valuable as like the most charitable actions that anybody could do. And another really harrowing thing about that is that means that no matter what you accomplish in this world, you don't actually gain any value. I talked about it in a video called One Coin. It's more from like a self-help perspective than a spiritual one, but still, you are born with one single coin of value, and you do not ever get another one. No matter what you do. No matter how much perceived value you give to yourself or others, you do not get another coin. Of course, that raises the question, then why do we do anything if it's all for nothing? I mean, if it's all leading up to us dying, and then generations from now, people can't remember that we existed, and then generations beyond that, even if people do remember us for a while, humans go extinct, the planet stops existing, the universe turns out, the big light, black hole sucks everything into, any kinds of thing. Any kind of things. Like, what is the point? And yeah, I don't have that answer. Sorry. But I have come more to peace with the fact that I don't have that kind of answer. There's a possibility that that answer is out there somewhere, sure. I mean, I'll probably keep striving for it. I would like, maybe that will be a realization I'll have someday. As far as I've gotten so far is just realizing that value is extremely arbitrary. And a lot of it is assigned from a very egoic, self-protective kind of way. And meaning in and of itself, it's not universal. Most of the time, no matter how much you want it to be. But the brilliant thing about that is that for all the sake of being a human being, you get to just make it up. And you're aware that you're making it up, but so what? But so what? It's all just a game. It's all just a game that will get put back in the box at the end. And I like what Love said in this song called Live and Let Live. They said, if you believe that life is just a game, do you at least like the role you're playing?